Today, we are going to get back to the basics with homemade medicine. We are going to be working with garlic and mullein, and mullein is a powerhouse medicine that grows in a lot of places. You can probably find it growing somewhere near you in recently disturbed soil. If it's been disturbed in the last decade, then you probably have some mullein growing nearby. Mullein is traditionally used for respiratory health. It acts as an expectorant, potentially easing coughs, clearing congestion, and reducing inflammation in the respiratory tract. Mullein's mucilage content helps coat and soothe irritated respiratory membranes, potentially reducing inflammation and making it easier to cough up mucus. It's considered an expectorant, meaning it helps thin and loosen mucus, making it easier to expel, and that includes from ear tubes in your ears. So it's great at helping move all the mucus out of your body so that you can get rid of it so that it's not clogging up all the pathways. Traditionally, mullein was used for coughs, bronchitis, asthma, and other respiratory conditions. Some believe it can help relax airway muscles, potentially easing breathing difficulties. It may help with conditions like tuberculosis, pneumonia, tonsillitis, though more scientific research is needed to confirm these uses. Mullein contains compounds with antioxidants and anti-inflammatory properties, which may help combat free radicals and reduce inflammation. These properties could potentially help support the body's natural defenses and reduce oxidative stress. Mullein is generally considered safe for most people when used as directed. However, it's always a good idea to talk to your doctor or a qualified healthcare professional before using mullein, especially if you have any underlying health conditions or are taking any medications. This is not medical advice. This is purely what I do in my home to help treat my recurring throat infection. For the past decade, I have gotten a recurrent infection in my ear and throat that comes on during times of stress when my immune system gets low. I also have the inability to fight ear, nose, and throat infections and upper respiratory infections because I have an IgG subclass 4 deficiency, which means I don't produce immunoglobulins to fight these infections. So I fight them the best I can with antibiotics as needed when necessary, but mostly I try to treat myself at home with my homemade remedies and with my tinctures. We are going to make some garlic mullein oil, and how we're going to do that is first we're going to find our homegrown garlic bulb. It's one of the last bulbs of garlic from my garden. I think I said that in one of the last videos, but we're really down to the last here. And then here I have some mullein. I'm going to do kind of a double boiler method with a little glass jar and this pot of water. It has about, I don't know, half an inch of water in it. So what I'm going to do is put this little jar in here, and I'm just going to gently warm it up along with some olive oil I'm going to put in there. And then I'm going to put my garlic and mullein in there as well and just let it warm up and warm through. And then I'm going to put the garlic mullein oil in and around my ear with a cotton ball. And that seemed to help the last time that it got this bad. Not previously, I told you guys when we were staying in the hotel that my ear and throat infection, because the infection it's in my throat, but it affects my ear and causes ear issues as well. So I thought I had battled it back then in early February, but it still was lingering and I just neglected it. And then with the move, I didn't have my supplements like I should, my medicines like I should, my herbal remedies and things. And so it just got bad again. And so this whole week I've been taking the herbal tinctures and it's kept it at a certain level. It just hasn't gotten any better. So my goal with this tonight is I need to eat some garlic too. So I'm going to eat some garlic and some honey, just raw garlic. I'm going to chew it up and keep it in my mouth for a while so that it coats my throat really well. And then I'm going to make the garlic mullein oil and I'm going to put that in my ear as well, around my ear. Yeah, it's going to be all right. And you can put it in a cheesecloth or whatever you like, but I'm just going to strain it through a cheesecloth. Mullein is an herb that grows in the summertime, and it grows tall yellow flower stalks, and it grows in a lot of places. I actually have some mullein growing in the front yard of this house, of this property. So it has fuzzy leaves typically. It is really, really good for respiratory illness or ear, nose, and throat illness. Anytime you have a cough, it is really good to make some mullein tea and drink it in the morning and drink it at night, and it will keep the coughing at bay. I also add mullein to my elderberry syrup when I make it fresh, or when I make it, right now I have canned elderberry syrup, and what I do is just rewarm that and then I add honey to it. So I don't can it with the honey, I just warm it up and add the raw honey to the elderberry syrup when I warm it up on the stove. So I just pop the can, pour it in, and I've already spiced it and everything. I don't know if that's advisable in any canning books, but I spiced my elderberry juice and I canned it so that we can have it whenever we're under the weather, and we just add honey. So I'll probably make a batch of that or warm up a batch of that as well. And I'll show you that process, but if you need the elderberry syrup recipe, it is on my channel. Just look up elderberry syrup and it should bring up a few videos that we make it in. Some are really old, like 7 years old, some are newer. So we've come a long way on this channel, but it's always been an effort to share holistic remedies. So I'm probably gonna put a little bit more mullein in there. All right, so this is gonna gently warm in there. And then what I'm gonna do is strain it into a glass amber bottle, dropper bottle, and we'll have ourselves some garlic mullein oil for the next few weeks. If I were to go buy a bottle of this, because you can buy bottles of garlic mullein oil, and I have bought them in the past, and I've also made it in the past, but the thing is, it's only good for so long, and the bottle of oil expires and you've got to get rid of it because it's just not safe to use any longer. So the garlic was free because I grew it in my garden. The mullein was free because I grew it in my garden. And the oil I used, probably, I added some more in there. So I've got about 4 tablespoons of oil, maybe 1/4 of a cup, probably less than that, but that's how much oil is in there. And what is that, maybe 50 cents worth of oil. So plus the cost of the amber bottles, which I buy on Amazon. And boom chakalaka, you've got yourself a $1 bottle of mullein ear oil, and you're saving yourself money because I think it costs about $11 or so to buy a bottle from the store. And I just want to gently warm it, so once it starts, kind of the water starts steaming around it, and it's not boiling yet, it's just barely bubbling, but it's starting to get warm. I'm gonna leave it on the heat, but I'm gonna turn the heat off. So that's just gonna sit there. The key is to not get any water in there, and especially if the water is steaming a whole lot and I don't have a lid on this. I guess I could cover it, but I get these little 2-ounce tincture bottles from Amazon, and it's quite large actually for the purpose that I'm using it for, because I only have this much oil. I could have made more oil, but you know, I'm not going to use that much in this time frame. So I have my little tiny funnel here. Let's set this dropper aside, place that on there. I've got to find my cheesecloth. Kids just walked in the door, so there's going to be background noise now. I might switch to a voiceover. We'll just see how crazy it gets. They're coming back from a walk. So I am just going to fold this cheesecloth, stick it right there.
Hi, Mom.
Hi, babe.
Hi, Mom.
The health benefits of garlic mullein ear oil are earache relief. The ear oil may help alleviate the discomfort associated with earaches. Garlic's antimicrobial properties can combat infections, while mullein flower's anti-inflammatory properties can soothe pain and inflammation in the ear. For ear infection support, the antimicrobial properties of garlic may assist in addressing ear infections. The oil can be applied to the affected area around the ear to potentially help combat the infection and promote healing. Garlic mullen ear oil can be used to soften and loosen earwax, making it easier to remove naturally or with the assistance of a healthcare professional. Regular use of this ear oil may promote overall ear health by reducing inflammation and preventing infections and maintaining optimal ear hygiene. This garlic mullen ear oil offers a natural and holistic approach to ear health, utilizing the healing properties of garlic and mullein flowers to address common ear-related concerns. Please consult a healthcare provider if you have a severe ear pain or persistent ear issues, or if you are unsure about using ear oils. This information is provided for educational purposes only and has not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Please consult with a qualified healthcare practitioner before using herbal products, particularly if you are pregnant, nursing, or on any medications. This oil will generally last for about 3 years, and you store it in a cool, dark place. You can keep it in the refrigerator or in a cool cabinet tucked in the back somewhere. All right, we're gonna take this jar of spiced elderberry juice, we're gonna add it to our saucepan, gently warm it, and then we're gonna add a cup of honey to it. Right now we just got some honey. Now I add about a cup of honey to a pint of syrup. And then we just add it. You can find my spiced elderberry syrup recipe linked down below. Actually, yeah, the whole recipe. Not canned, but from scratch. Spiced elderberry syrup for sickness, to boost your immune system. My kids have a little bit of a cold right now. They picked up from their homeschool situation. They've been around new people, new germs that we haven't been exposed to in a long time. We're kind of homebodies, so when we get out in public and around people, sometimes we bring home the sniffles. So that's what's happened, and we're just gonna kick it in the rear with this elderberry syrup. All right, now we are going to just put this elderberry syrup in this Kilner bottle so it's easier to serve my family. Now I can pour it out easily. Yeah, there we go. If you found this video useful, please like and subscribe for more holistic homemaking content.